Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is March 25th and the energies in the day adds up and reduces to number 8 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. So the spirit animal associated with today is the nightingale. So the nightingale brings me to the air element because, birds have wings, they fly, and that also brings me back to say the mind. So when it comes to say today, some kind of emphasis on information and communication is extremely important when it comes to say today. But when it comes to the nightingale energy, you look at the nightingale energy and the nightingale appears to be on top of, let's say, the earth. It's on top of the earth. And when I think about the nightingale being on top of the earth, this brings me to say, like, looking at things from a bird's eye view. And you look at the nightingale, and the nightingale is also like the mouth is wide open. So to me, it's communicating. And as you could see, there's light coming from, the mouth area. So this brings me to say the importance of stepping away from a situation and then communicating and expressing oneself once they've stepped away from the situation instead of communicating from being absorbed or too close to a situation. Like, it just brings me to the thought of, say, being inside the house and the view we have from inside the home compared to the view we have from the outside. Like, both views are important. I think of how there's duality in everything, and it brings me back to say being okay with being aware of both aspects of a thing to kind of get a bigger picture when it comes to say how we're going to be handling things. But with the nightingale energy, it brings me to say taking ourselves away. When I think about air element, this is bringing me back to say like Libra energy. And with Libra energy, how Libra energy is so powerful when it comes to say the justice system. And it's powerful because it talks about the importance of us not getting our emotions involved and making a logical decision. Because when we get our emotions involved in things, it's so easy for us to be manipulated and for our decisions to be swayed because we're coming from such an emotional space. When it comes to the tarot, associated with the day, we have the Tower energy. So with the Tower energy coming up for today, this is the Tower in the reversal position. This is the Tower in the upright position. The Tower in the reversal position brings me to say that, like, avoiding an inevitable ending. And when I think of, like, say tomorrow carries the overall 9 vibration, which deals with, say, things coming to an end. But with today adding up to the number 8 vibration, adding up and reducing to the number 8 vibration, whenever we're in like a 8 personal year and you find your personal year number by adding up the numbers in your birth day and month and adding that to the present year or the year you want to know about. So it's your birth day and month added to the year that you want to know about. So if you're born on March 1st, 1 plus 3 is 4, and you would add that to the year that you want to know about. So say you wanted to know about 2023. 2023 carries a number 7 vibration, and 4 plus 7 adds up to the number 11 or reduce to number 2, even though we don't reduce master numbers. But anyways, when it comes to say the number 8 energy, and especially when I'm looking at it in personal year energy, and I created a video on the personal year, so check that out in the playlist if it's something that you've never saw. But anyways, whenever the number 8 is present, it always brings me to say the importance of like, it's like getting ready to wrap things up in order to prepare for the ending to move on to the next level. What I mean by that is when, like, say if a person is an entrepreneur, they own a business. I feel like in an 8 year is when you take a look, you take inventory of every aspect of your business and you ask yourself, in what ways can I add more value to the business, or am I going to scrap this business? So whenever we're in an 8 cycle, I see it as preparation for, the end cycle. Like, okay, how can I add value, or how will I scrap? But the number 8 energy within the day also deals with, say, higher education. This is where we come to the realization that I want to go back to school, or I want to purchase a course. I want to add more value to my life by informing and educating myself. The number 8 energy also deals with control, power struggles. So when I look at, say, the Tower energy in the reversal position, it brings me to the thought of, say, avoiding an inevitable ending. It's like something is about to come to an end and it's like tiptoeing around it. I think about the couple who knows that the relationship has run its course, and with the Tower card in the reversal position, maybe one person doesn't want to hurt the other person's feelings and keeps thinking about like the sadness of being without the person, even though they're not working, and keep trying to hold on, opposed to acknowledge the fact that, this isn't working. And the best thing is for us to just cut ties so that we can move on. And that could be with anything. The day is the 25th. So the overall personality of the day is one that's introspective. It's like we're contemplating deeply when it comes to something. But at the same time, the number 25th, the number 2 is emotional, it's sensitive. The number 5 deals with change, sudden and unexpected changes. So when I think of, say, the 25th, I think of the personality of the day where we're feeling the emotions and feeling the extreme emotions within ourselves, and we're within ourselves trying to reflect on things. But then the 8 vibration of the day is where we will go back to concrete ways of thinking. When I think of, say, the energies of the day, I think of say our ancestors and how like divorce probably wasn't an option. Like I think of, like, say the grandmother might be narcissistic and the grandfather, isn't, but it's like divorce is so shameful and it's just not an option. So these people stay together no matter what, and then, raise children in a toxic environment, because the number 8 energy is a traditional energy, and it's like this is just not what we do. So when it comes to, say, the energies today, you could find that traditional, or thinking this is not the way how something is supposed to be based on your conditioning, creating some kind of a delay when it comes to an ending. Today is ruled by Saturn energy. So when I think of Saturn energy, I think of restrictions, I think of struggle, I think of control. Just like how the number 8 is ruled by Saturnian energy, and the number 8, like Saturn energy, is an energy that deals with power, is an energy that deals with control, is an energy that deals with tradition, the past. So this is where we try to enforce the ways of the past, even if things aren't working. And that's where the Tower energy comes in. And it's like avoiding an inevitable ending because we're trying to enforce the traditional or the old ways of being or doing things. When it comes to the Nightingale energy coming up as a spirit animal, this brings me to say, when it comes to communicating, us taking ourselves away from the situation to communicate properly. Because when we're so absorbed in the situation, we can't see the entire picture. And this is where we'll hold on and, avoid the inevitable ending of the Tower moment. And this is where we won't allow ourselves to speak our truth, because we feel so intimidated about speaking our truth, because our truth isn't a collective agreement. It isn't what the majority would agree to or what the majority will say. So when I look at the Nightingale energy, it just brings me to the importance of like taking ourselves out of a situation and ask yourself, when it's all said and done, and say you're on your deathbed, would you be happy with this decision that you're faced with today? Like when it's all said and done and you're in your last days of life, would you be happy with the decision that you're faced with? If you make this decision, will you be happy with it? If you make that decision, will you be happy with it? Today, Mars enters into Cancer. Mars has been in Gemini, I think, for like 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. And Mars normally spends like about I think, a month and a half in a sign. So for it to be in Gemini so long, I feel like that says a lot. It shows like how much motivation and focus was placed on, say, siblings, community, children, quick information, short distance travel, all of that. And with it spending all the time there, Mars energy deals with motivation. So just reflect on our motivation when it came to those things. I feel like during that Mars transit, most of us probably felt like it was hard to focus on things of substance, where it's like our attention span probably felt even shorter than what it has become over time. But with Mars entering into Cancer, now the focus is going to be on femininity, motherhood, womanhood, home, family, stability, the things that we hold sacred. So with Mars in Cancer, like within my newsletter that I share every month, and if you haven't subscribed to my website, visit soulandvibration.com. The link is below. Go to the website, scroll down, and just subscribe. Every month, once a month, I send out a newsletter on all of the transits and my take on it. That's all I send out. I don't send out anything else other than just one email every month, ever since I started doing this. But with Mars moving into Cancer, Mars energy is a warrior energy. So I could see how, there'll be fights and struggles when it comes to, say, femininity and feminine energy. And it's so interesting with the whole Mars moving in Cancer energy, because so much has been happening in the media lately where it feels uncomfortable to speak about things that are so obvious. It's just so interesting, meaning it's like not wanting to offend anyone when it comes to expressing one's truth, to the point that hurting people's feelings is being used as a form of manipulation to condition and to, used as a form of manipulation to condition and to push certain agendas. So it's like, because I don't want to hurt this person's feelings, I'm going to avoid the obvious truth, the obvious reality that we're all experiencing, that we could see in nature. I'm going to avoid that because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And then I'm going to push something else, and no one else better dare speak up on it or against it, because then you're an awful person because you're hurting this person's feelings, while what this person's doing is hurting my feelings. But and with Cancer energy is one that is very indirect with everything that it does. It's the crab. When you observe how a crab moves, a crab never walks straight. It moves in indirect ways. So this brings me to say Mars energy in Cancer, and how Mars deals with our motivations, and how it could be unclear while Mars is transiting Cancer to know what people's motivations are exactly. Like what I do personally, whenever the media is saying go left, I just know that it's best to go right. Like I just do the opposite, and I don't just do the opposite just to do the opposite. Just intuitively, the opposite always feels like what's best. Like the opposite always feels like what's best. So if they're saying, go up, intuitively go down is what feels best. When they're pushing fear and they say, do this, don't do that, don't do what they're saying, do something else. It's just what feels natural to me. When I think about Mars moving into Cancer energy and the whole nightingale vibe, and what I said about taking a step back and seeing things from the bird's eye view, Whenever you observe a crab move, the best way to observe a crab move is if you're seeing things from a bird's eye view. So if the crab move like this, that, or whatever the crab does, you're seeing all of the movement of the crab. So it brings me to say Cancer energy, us being withdrawn emotionally from what's presented to us and be able to see things in a logical way, and being disconnected or detached so you can see all of the movements of that thing, opposed to say missing what's really happening because we're so close, we're so involved with, like, you know, everything that's happening. So when it comes to say the energies in the day, yes, the number 8 and Saturn energy, and Saturn is in Pisces. And of course, with Saturn and Pisces, you know, some of the blessings, I think with Saturn and Pisces, we could find ourselves being more organized about our dreams, our creativity, the things we want to pursue, us applying a system to them, because Saturn energy, like the number 8 energy, is systematic energy, and everything in our physical world is ran on some kind of a system or a season. And as we mature, this is where we have to reflect on ourselves and what it is that we're trying to create, and figure out what kind of season or system is in alignment with our goals. Because success is a system, and we weren't conditioned to follow systems to bring us to the kind of success that we would like. This is where most of us followed the system of success that was presented to us collectively, and find ourselves feeling confused and miserable and unfulfilled. And that's because the whole intention of it wasn't to get you to a place of freedom, wasn't to get you to a place of success or fulfillment. It was more to, you know, turn you into a consumer and keep you stuck. So this is where we step back with the whole bird's eye view situation and ask myself, where am I trying to go? Okay, what's the system? What kind of repetitive daily routine type things will get me there? And when it comes to say Mars and Cancer energy, Mars is our motivation. So, you know, it comes back to say our home, family, security playing a big part, you know, the things we hold sacred playing a big part. So when I think of that energy, I think of, say, the importance of us getting to where we want to go, but still allowing the things that we consider sacred to be sacred. Because I feel like when I think of like the whole selling the soul vibe, I think when we do that, nothing is no longer sacred. And then what's the point? But yeah, so you guys, that was my message. It was such a pleasure sharing it with you. If you would like to book a reading with me or check out my exclusive contents only on Patreon, the links for that is in the description box below. Please let me know you're here with me by dropping me a pink heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.